Hey everyone, welcome into the channel. This is going to be the first video on my disc golf channel. Hope you enjoy today's intro video. We're just going to play 9 holes. I'll walk you through a little bit of what to expect on the channel, as well as my background in the game and just a few pieces of information about myself. My name is Peyton. I'm glad that you were able to jump onto the video today. Hope you enjoyed the content. There'll be plenty more coming out each week, as well as some short videos as well. So we'll jump right into it. We're going to play the back 9 at my local course. This is going to be the longer of the 2 9s, but gives us a chance to play a couple of different shots. This first hole, 251, you can either go out wide with a big hyzer, or you can go straight down the gap and kind of turn it over into the gap there. You can see on the left side down the gap that the basket is down there. I'm going to play one straight up the gut, try to turn it over a little bit. I'm going to go with Undertaker for the first shot. See how it goes. Okay, that got through, pulled it just a little bit, but got through the smaller of the 2 gaps and then actually got a nice little kick. So it looks like that should be a really good look for birdie on our first hole on the channel. Here we are walking up to first shot on the channel. I definitely would not have wanted to start it any other way. We will take this. Here is the basket, and we pan down. There is our shot. So able to just knock this one in. See if we can do a POV. That's a birdie on our first hole. Welcome to the channel. Let's go to hole number 2, the 11th hole on the course. Okay, 11th hole here. This one is only 185 feet, but as you can see, straight down the corridor, we've got this guardian tree. They actually have a sign on it that says Gandalf, the Great Guardian Tree. This is a tight wooded shot that basically just takes something, really, if you're going to throw a forehand, kind of a little bit of a flex that finishes back out, or you can throw the tighter gap off the tee, which is just a little bit of a turnover backhand. For me, the forehand is not my strongest suit, but it just fits better, gives me a better chance to actually get down there. So I'm going to go with my more beat in. I've got this black ESP zone that I'm going to throw here. See if we can get it down through the gap. Try to go with just a little bit of a turnover to start, get it down in there. That's a little wobbly and a little bit too low, but did at least get it through the first gap. So going to have a jump putt up, but probably blocked out to even have a look at actually making that putt. Okay, we do have a little bit of a look, probably about 45, 50 feet short here. I can kind of go straight at it, but these little limbs are blocking me out, so probably going to have to go with the floating turnover putt. See if we can give it a chance. Let's give it a run here. That was close. I just caught that last tree, but it's going to be up there around tap in range. But not a terrible effort, just pulled it a touch. All right, hole 12. After a couple of wooded-ish type of holes, we now move into the open for the majority of the back 9. This is 480 feet. It is a par 4. I've got my Thrasher out. This is more my distance shot. For me, I just don't have the distance to get there, but can get kind of a flex around this light pole, give ourselves a really good look at the birdie. So see what we can do on number 12. Okay, that one's pretty good. It did turn just a little bit, but got past those trees down there on the right, so should have a pretty good opening, just a little bit of a hyzer over the baseball field, and should have a good look to make birdie on the 12th. Got myself a little bit closer to this fence than I would have liked to, but it's just a probably 150-foot upshot here. You can see the basket is directly in line with the fence. It is a hanging basket, so a really cool feature on this hole. I've got just my Get Freaky. Gonna throw a hyzer up there, let it crash down. You definitely want to miss on the right side, because if you're left with that tree on the left blocks you out, you really don't have a good look for the putt. So just throw a hyzer in there, see if we can give ourselves a tap in and move on to the next. And I made the mistake that I said you couldn't. Right after I say it, of course, I make that mistake. We'll see. I think I might just be far enough back that I'll have a hyzer putt in, but it's definitely going to be obstructed. This one actually did not end up in too bad of a spot because I missed it a little bit short. It gives me an opening here, but anything left, if I was up pin high, I really don't have a chance to make the birdie putt. So a little bit lucky there. Got a decent look at it and see if we can knock this one in. All right, that was a pretty clean putt. We will take the birdie, and actually not too bad of a round going so far. We made it to the 13th hole, and just a little bit about me, my background in the game. I have been playing, I'm 30 years old, so I've been playing since high school, about 15 years. So this is a sport that I've always loved. I've really enjoyed ever since I got into it. Started playing in tournaments a little bit about 2 or 3 years ago, mostly MA1, MA2 level. I am kind of one of those guys that will have a pretty good round and then have a pretty bad round, or flip-flop. So pretty much have stayed around that MA1, right in the middle of MA2, MA1 level. But just trying to start this channel to see if I can get better, grow an audience of people that might enjoy this type of content. I love the disc golf YouTube community, so hoping to be a part of that and hope that you guys will enjoy that as well. We will go ahead and get on to our tee shots on the 13th hole. This one 410 yards. For most of the big throwers of the disc, a lot of these par fours are going to be either reachable or semi-reachable here on the back nine, and then the par fives to finish on 2 of the last 3 holes. Those are pretty easy for them as well. For me, I'm just not that big of a distance guy, so it plays pretty fair. This one, I've got the Roadrunner out, just really want to get out of the gap and then turn it over. The basket is basically going to be right on the other side of this baseball field that you saw on the last hole. So really just want to turn one over, let it drift, and then you should be in a pretty good spot for getting up and down. So see if we can throw a decent one here. That one drifted really nicely. That's going to be in a perfect spot, so should be in a pretty good position to get up and down. This is about as perfect of a spot that you can put it here on the fairway if you're not really able to get to the pin. I've got about 100 feet in, and just going to go with my Sky God. This is the Simon Lizotte series. Just pretty much a standstill toss up. See if we can get this one under the basket, knock in another birdie. And that'll do. That one looks like it's right there inside the bullseye, so should have another good chance to tap that one in. Now 14th hole. This one is 210 feet. This is another one of those that you'll kind of learn about me as we go through the channel. I'm more of a backhand predominant player, but I'm trying to change that, not necessarily become a forehand dominant player, but I really want to incorporate that forehand a lot more into my game. I think it would help take me a little bit to a higher level, not necessarily a pro level or anything like that, but definitely trying to incorporate that. And this is definitely that type of hole where it just feels like the forehand is the play. It is dead straight up to the woods and then cuts straight back into the right. It's about 40 feet into the woods. So this is almost a poke and hope type of a hole. You get it up there to the crest of the woods and then hope it just gets through there's a bunch of little trees in there. So just try to, this is my more beat up Zeus, so it's going to give me a little bit more help just because I'm not a strong forehand either. So just try to get this one going straight and then let it fade out at the end. That was really bad. Just pretty much flipped that wrist straight on hyzer into the woods, and it does not really open up from there. So we are going to have to probably step out, throw a forehand roller at best, and see if we can get a lucky look at the par from there. Okay, and that's out there towards the mouth of the opening, which should give us an open look at the par, but that was just a terrible shot and put myself in a terrible spot. Just outside the circle here for the par, but definitely did a good job of getting it out to this point where we even have a look at the par. So this would be a huge save and keep our clean round going. Just missed it on the low side. That's a tough miss. Gave it a pretty good run. That's going to be a bogey. Hole number 15, another par 4. This one 483. This is another one that you really just want to throw as far as you can down there. And then you get out into the woods that we saw on the 12th hole, and then just see if you can get it up and down from there. So I'm going back to the Thrasher, see if we can turn this one, actually get a full flight out of it. Decent release, but again, threw that one into the ground. Done that a couple of times so far. Doesn't kill our chance to get up and down, but makes that second shot a lot tougher. Now it's going to be a full shot in. Second shot into the 15th. I put myself in pretty much the hardest spot that you can as far as approaches goes. You've got the guardian trees out here to the left, and then you've got the guardian trees back out here to the right, and then directly in line with the basket is that tree right in the middle of your screen. The basket is about 40 feet past that, so it really takes perfect execution to get yourself into the circle from here. Really, a full shot gets you down into that tree gap, and then you're jump putting up. So this is not ideal. I'm going to take a really nice shot. I've got the buzz out. Going to just try and see if we can blast this one nice and flat, get a straight flight out of it, and hopefully we hit the gap. It's a tough shot for me. That was a decent flight, but got that a little bit too high, and because of that, it just did not get a chance to get under that ceiling. It was probably going to be pretty good, but got to get that lower, got to punch it through that gap. You can't really let it just hyzer in there. Got knocked down by the leaves. Now a little bit of a scramble will just be pretty much a jump up to save the par, but really missed our chance to get a birdie on this hole. Third shot here into the 15th, going to, you can see the basket just there in the middle of the screen, going to go with kind of the jump putt throw type of shot for me. See if we can get this one just under the basket, not really looking to make any kind of bid here. Just got to get it through this gap and give ourselves an easy look for the par, tap in. Okay, that was perfect. A little bit more of a bid than I expected, but ended up just next to the basket, so should be able to clean that up. We've made it to the first of the 2 par 5s that you see to finish out this back 9. This one is 700 feet. For me, that is plenty of hole distance, but it's really pretty much a par 4. If you get out into the open field, you're pretty much banking yourself into a birdie. But just a little bit more about me before we throw this next shot and about what I want this channel to be. I am definitely a faith-based person. That is big for me. My family is really important for me as well. So I want this channel to be something that is open to anyone. You're not going to have to worry about any kind of language or inappropriate stuff, anything like that. I want anybody to be able to sit down and watch my channel and just enjoy. If you like disc golf, that's what I want it to be. I just want you to be able to sit down and enjoy what we're doing, whether it be playing in tournaments or just random challenges, just different types of rounds of golf that we're going to be playing, shooting, trying to shoot perfect, just different things like that. But that's kind of what I want this channel to be. And like I had mentioned there, what to expect from the types of videos that you're going to see. Course vlogs, I'll go around. I've got a series that I'm looking at doing, just trying to see if we can break course records, or also course ratings, where I'm going to be trying to play up to 1,000 rated or something like that, go through previous tournaments that have been played at a course, try to shoot what would have been 1,000 rated at that particular course. And then just like wheel challenges, so wheels of throws, wheels of discs, forehand only rounds, backhand only rounds, and then like I'd mentioned, tournament rounds as well, hopefully going to be doing that. So if that interests you, or you want to be part of the early part of this community that we are building on the channel, definitely go ahead and join. Go ahead and subscribe, like, leave a comment on some videos that you would like to see, or anything in particular that you would like to see me do or improve on as well as we do our videos. So we'll go ahead and get into 16, par 5. Going back to Old Faithful, the Thrasher. You'll see this a lot when I got to get off the tee and get some distance. This one, got to throw it almost out over the baseball field, let it turn, let it finish. Got to get past this tree here on the right. We do get past the tree on the right, but again, I just did not give it enough height to let that one finish. That one has been in my bag for quite a while, and it's starting to get to the edge where it's too flippy to really throw kind of the comfortable hyzer flip shot. I am working in. I've got a Raider that I'm trying to work in as well, so may start to see that pop out a little bit more. But that Thrasher, it's in a fine spot, but doesn't really give us a chance to go at the green to try to make an eagle. Okay, we are out in the open here for our second shot, and you can just see the basket down there in the distance. I'm going to go with, we'll try out that Raider. It is a little bit of a pop top, so I think I'll have to get this one a little bit more flat to start out with, but like I said, trying to work this one in, so we'll see if we can get a decent shot out there. I don't think it's reachable for me, but we'll see if we can give ourselves a long look at the eagle. Oh yeah, that one's got plenty of stability to it. It came out nice and flat, but then really finished out to the left. So that one we're gonna have to work in for sure. But eventually we want that one to be kind of a flip up and ride. I do have a more beat in Zeus that kind of fits that mold a little bit, but it's still nice and stable. So kind of a little bit of a gap in the bag there, but we'll work some stuff in and eventually try to find a replacement for us there. Left ourselves about 200 feet in for shot number 3. A pretty simple up and down for the most part. You can see it is kind of an island where the basket sits with that sand around it. It does not play as an island, but maybe a cool feature at some point to incorporate a landing zone where you have to make that decision to go for it. That would make this whole play a little bit tougher. One thing that you do definitely have to watch out for is left. You've got water just down on the other side of this hill. That comes in quickly, so you do have to be a little bit careful there. Going to go back with the putter and just see if we can land this one up into the sand, give ourselves a good look. Okay, that one came up just a little bit short, but it is resting up against the railroad ties there, so should still be a pretty good look. Definitely inside the circle. See if we can pick up another birdie. We've got about 20-25 feet here left for the birdie, just outside the sand pit, but a very makeable one, and with a little bit of a backstop there, should not have any trouble getting this one all the way to the water with running it, unless you just happen to skip off the top at a lot of speed, but should not run into any issues there. Trying to knock this one in. Okay, that is very little chains, but it's in the basket. We'll take it. That's another birdie. Happy with that. 17th hole, 273. This is a fun one. The way that it's set up is you do have to obviously carry over the water, and the more aggressive you get, the more water you actually have to carry. So you can kind of bail out to the right, just get it over the water, pitch up and take your par. But then if you want to get aggressive, you do have a chance of maybe hyzering out early. And the way that that hillside comes into play is once it starts hyzering, it's going downhill. So it's hard for that to actually stay out of the water. So this is a fun one. Just depends on how aggressive you want to get. You can also just blast one out there long and give yourself a jump putt up. Let's see if we can maybe not necessarily scare the basket, but get this one up there in the circle. That was a big time early release. It skipped up onto the water, and actually think I might have gotten lucky. Looks like it's sitting on the bank up there. We'll see if we can play that one, but that was not a good shot. I mentioned you got to play it along. I didn't do that. That's the second time today. Told myself to not do something and then turn around and did exactly what I wasn't supposed to. So see if we got lucky down there. Well, like I said, at one point I think that disc was up onto the bank, but unfortunately by the time I got to the other side of the water, it actually was out floating in the water. Thankfully I was able to retrieve it, but now I've gone back to the drop zone, try to get ourselves up and down for a bogey again. This is pretty straightforward. It's around, the sign says 291, but I think they've actually moved it up. It looks like it's right around 200 feet. So just going to toss this one up there, leave it on the right, hopefully give ourselves a pretty simple bogey. Yep, looks like that one is under the basket. mission accomplished. Wish I would have had a better throw in our debut shot over the water, but still decent upshot. We'll take the bogey there. We have made it to our final hole of the video today, hole number 18, another par 5. This one only 600 feet. It is a super eagleable hole, even for me with not a big distance arm. It is just out the gap, and really you can turn it basically as far right as you want to. Just get it out of these trees, and it plays basically straight away. So it gives yourself a really good chance to get down there and make an eagle. That would be a good way to finish off the video. And if you have liked the content so far today, there is plenty more where that comes from. We're going to be putting videos out every week. I really appreciate those that have already joined and that are already watching. But if you would, just please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the like button and leave a comment down below, things you would like to see, or just any ideas that you have for me, critiques. I would really appreciate it. Like I said, we're going to continue this channel. We're going to try to grow this channel. I hope you enjoy. See if we can finish off with a bang. All right, that one was nice. We got basically the full flight out of that Thrasher, so that should be perfect. See if we can throw a decent approach shot. Was able to get this one out towards the right side, which is perfect. It opens up from here, the hyzer route in and around, and then just letting it crash in. So really good look at this one. Just need to throw a decent shot and get the distance right. We should have a good look for the eagle. Going to go with my Zeus. This is my older one, nice and beat in. So for me, it still flies pretty stable, but I can get it to flip up the flat and then finish. So that should be perfect for this one. That one's pretty much hyzer the whole way, but I still think it looks pretty good for distance. Looks like it got a nice skip and roll. I think we're gonna have a pretty good look there. All right, it is an eagle look here. We finished just got into the dirt patch here, so we are just outside of the circle, probably 35, maybe close to 40 feet. But a pretty good look at the eagle. Left it just a touch short. Let's see if we can run this one up there. It is the only thing that you really run into with actually running these putts is sometimes you can get into those trees behind the basket, but normally you're close enough that you can manufacture something. So we're going to give this one a full run, try to finish the video in style. And we just catch the left side chains, but not enough to actually catch the basket. Looks like we're going to have to settle for the 4. Go in and tap that one in. All right, that one is in the basket. I appreciate everyone joining me for the first video on the channel. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you all in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, and I really do appreciate it. It's such a blessing to be out here doing these videos, so we will continue to do that. Hope you enjoy. See you next time.